y'all, welcome to Vlogmas Day 4. Today I wanted to sit down with y'all and talk about reserve life, what reserve is like at my airline. A couple of y'all asked me some questions recently about how it all works and things like that. So I figured I'd answer those questions, but first things first, and probably one of the main reasons why you clicked on this video, but I caught my crash pad on fire today. Well, not the crash pad, the oven, I should say. So I had cooked a pizza in the oven and it was fine, but I noticed that there was some like stuck on food at the bottom of the oven, probably from our Friendsgiving a few weeks ago, but either way, I was going to clean it out after I cooked my pizza because it was kind of smoky every time you would open the oven. Well, the pizza cooked just fine, and then the manager of my crash pad told me to just put it on clean cycle so that it helps make it easier for you to clean that gunk up at the bottom. Well, turned it on and not even 30 minutes goes by and one of my friends in the crash pad's like, fire, fire, fire. A huge flame was in the oven, like, oh my gosh, had to get the fire extinguisher. Thank goodness we live with a bunch of flight attendants and we're trained on how to handle fires, but definitely made for an entertaining morning. Alright, so I'm going to just kind of answer these few questions that I was asked recently by one of you guys, kind of in order. So, first question is, how does reserve work at your airline? Do you have more reserve because you are new? Does reserve change as you get more senior? And about holidays, like getting holidays off. Yeah, so the way reserve works at my airline is we are on reserve, and reserve is different based on the base because every base has its own time frame. Some bases it takes less than 2 years, some bases it takes a little bit more than 2 years. Currently, where I am based in Dallas-Fort Worth at DFW, it takes a little longer. It's about 2 to 2.5 years to get a line, and that's when you have your own schedule and you're no longer on call and all that stuff. So that's kind of how it works. We have 3 reserve periods of being on call. So the on-call is the notification period that crew scheduling has to give you an assignment. And we have 3 of those. We have 3 on-call times. One of them is midnight to 10 a.m. The second one is 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. and the third is 2 p.m. to midnight. And they can assign you anything within that time frame and a few hours after kind of thing. But that's their window to call you. And they can give you a ready assignment, which is where we call it ready. Some airlines call it airport standby, but it's where we go and sit at the airport. We sit for 5 hours. And we get credit or paid for 4 of them, which is nice. So, but it's only 5 hours that you have to sit, and then you either get called, or when you're done, you call crew scheduling to get released and you leave. Or they could give you a trip. They could assign you a trip, call you. They have to give you a 2-hour call out every year. Most airlines are like this, but mine particularly is. They have to give you a 2-hour call out. So that means that they have to give you 2 hours from the time that they call you to the time that you sign in at the airport, which sign-in time is an hour prior to departure. So anyway, so it's really almost like 3 hours, but you have to be at the airport 1 hour prior to departure, 2 hours after they call you. So that's how that works. What was the other question? Oh, do you have more reserve because you are new? Not really anymore. It's just that it's all the same when you're new. You're all on reserve. You're all new. I'm just at the bottom of the reserve list, and as far as seniority goes. So for seniority, jeez, people are texting me. So for seniority purposes, I am at the bottom because I am brand new. So when it comes to what I get on reserve, that also goes into that. And I think this will answer the other question as well of, does reserve change as you get more senior? And how about holding holidays off kind of thing? So this all kind of goes into that. Basically, the longer you've been with an airline, the more seniority you get. that includes being on reserve. So, for example, like I said, it takes 2.5 years currently where I'm based to hold a line and to get off of reserve. With that being said, people who are 2 years senior to me, or a year and a half-ish, senior to me, are going to get the schedules they want first. So every month we get a bid packet that has all of the lines for the next month's schedule built in for us. As reserves, it's built in, and we select from that bunch, that list of schedules. So let's say I bid for such and such schedule that gives me Christmas and New Year's Eve off, or New Year's Day. But someone senior to me bids for it as well. Well, they only have so many people that can bid and receive that one particular reserve line schedule for that month. So if someone senior to me selects that one, and when it all goes through the processing, they're going to get it before I do. So again, with that being said, it's kind of it's a whole cycle. So eventually that person that's ahead of me, that's been there for so long, we will get a line eventually, so that'll knock me up higher, and more people get hired below me, and I move up. So basically, the more people ahead of me that hold lines quicker, or just in general, the quicker I move up in seniority, and I get better schedule options. So that's kind of nice, and that's what will change over time. You just move up the ladder until eventually you're no longer on reserve. But at first, you gotta start at the bottom and pay your dues, I guess. But I did get Christmas Eve off this year, which is really nice. I would hope that maybe I'll get it, maybe get Christmas off next year. At that point, I'll be a year and a few months in, so maybe I will. But really, the ultimate goal is to get off of reserve altogether and get a line, because your schedule is so much easier. You don't have to worry about calling crew scheduling, really dealing with them at all. You have the days that you're off and that you get to go home for, and then you have the days that you are working and your trips. So that's what's nice about not having a reserve line or reserve schedule. Just makes life easier. And I don't know if I mentioned this before, but a reserve flight attendant is basically, we are the people who are there in case the line holders who hold a line don't want to work that day, or they drop their schedule, or they get sick, or call out because of an emergency, something like that. So we are there to pick up the slack. We are there to be that last minute person that's on call for whatever may happen. So that is what reserves are for. That is what our job is until you can rise up and become a line holder. Okay, well, that is it for this video. I hope this answered some of you guys' questions and maybe helped y'all understand how reserve works at my airline. I'm gonna try and make another video separate about pay, an updated one. I made a few, can't talk today. I made a video about pay when I was working at my regional before, but I want to do an updated one for you guys since I now work for a major US airline. There's some things that are different. It's very similar, but it's slightly different. So I'll go ahead and make that video soon. Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you're not already a part of the family, be sure to subscribe below. Push that notification bell so that you're notified of when a new video comes out. And make sure you're following me on Instagram and push a like on this video. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I'll see y'all next time.